I'm taking on a big challenge to beat every N64 game ever released, including PAL and Japanese exclusives. No guides, no help, all done on the original console just as it was intended back in the day. Twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no idea what's coming next. Should be a lot of fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video where I am beating every single N64 game. If you guys like these videos, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next one, and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like would help me out a lot. Game number 3, Indy Racing 2000, released in the year 2000, developed by Paradigm Entertainment and published by Infogrames. Honestly, I'd never heard of this game in my whole life, and I imagine most of you've probably never heard of it either. I had no clue what to expect going into this one. So the first thing that happens when you turn the game on is it plays like this intro cutscene, like games usually do, and this music it plays is amazing. I mean, just listen to that distortion. To be honest, after the intro, I thought I was going to be in for a miserable time. So apparently the game's based off the 1999 Indy Racing League. It features racers from the real thing. We got Greg Ray, Billy Boat, Eddie Cheever Jr., Buddy Lazier, Davey Hamilton, Sam Smith, Scott Sharp, Buzz Calkins, Kenny Brack, Robbie Bull, Tice Carlson, Mark Dismore, Roberto Guerrero, Johnny Unser, Robbie Unser, Jeff Ward, Stephen Gregoire, Robbie McGehee, John Hollinsworth Jr., and Scott Goodyear. When I was reading these off the first time, I thought they were made up names, but no, apparently those are real people, even Billy Boat. The first thing I decided to do is just do a basic race, get myself familiar with how the game works, and really all there is to do is accelerate, brake, and steer. There's no drifting or anything like that you see in a lot of racing games. You can also set it to manual or automatic shifting, but I did automatic because I'm kind of a racing noob. And you can see that about 20 seconds into my first race, I got into a massive crash. The crashes in this game, they're pretty intense, and they're one of the coolest parts. They're like super aggressive, but you're able to continue the race after them because the game doesn't damage your car like some more realistic driving games do. The most interesting part of this game for me was the draft meter. Basically in racing, if you drive very close behind another car, you'll actually gain speed due to facing less air resistance. This isn't a physics lesson, I'm not sure if that's actually how it works, but it's something like that. This game shows that with the draft meter. Basically, you can raise the meter by driving closely behind other cars, and when you move out of the way, you'll get a huge speed boost. It's the key thing to doing well in this game. My first race didn't go so hot, and I got 11th place. I figured that was good enough for a warm-up and decided to move on to the real thing. So this game features 3 main modes. There's Single Race, Championship, and Gold Cup. For beating this game, I decided to complete the Gold Cup, which essentially you have to start out with the worst kind of car. You earn points to get all the way up to the Indy car. There's 4 leagues in total, so the criteria to beat this game is get first place in each league in the Gold Cup. Pretty simple, right? So the first league we have to race in is called the Midget Car League. Hey, it's what they called it, not me. Apparently that's actually like a real name of a type of racing car. I don't know, maybe some of you know about it. Anyway, these things are super small and they're not very fast, and they're very responsive to turning. And also, is it just me or do these cars look like they're driving backwards? The way these Gold Cup races work is you race in a circuit of X number of races, then at the end your rank is the combined points of how well you did in each race. For the Midget Car League, there's only 2 races in a circuit. The 2 races you do, they're pretty simple. First is just your standard track that goes in an ellipse shape over and over. You see it in every racing game ever. And the second has a bit more variety with lots of turns, and it's a lot longer. And after the circuit, you gain experience points, which can be used to unlock a new tier of car in the same league or unlock the next league. Getting a new tier of car in your league makes it much easier to obtain first place. They're faster and they handle better than the previous tiers. So after earning 40,000 XP, we unlock the next league. The second league is called the Sprint Car League. I'm not really sure how these are different from the midget cars. They look similar to me, but some of you racing fans probably know. So once I started driving, I instantly noticed it's a lot faster than the previous league. And the tracks they have you race on are much more difficult too, far more turns, and that means me spinning out way more often. I mean way more often. Have I mentioned I'm not the greatest at driving games? Anyway, the second league has 3 races in a circuit, and we have to repeat them over and over again to gain XP, just like the last one. That's pretty much what we'll be doing this whole game, you know? After getting 120k XP, the third league was unlocked. Yo, another 20k, we got the next league, let's go. The third league is the Formula Car League. These are actually starting to look more like real race cars now. This league had 4 races in, same idea applies here. We complete races, gain XP, and then we unlock better ones, and then eventually get the next league. Cars here are a bit faster and the track's a bit tougher. One thing that really caught my attention in this circuit was one of the tracks had a roller coaster in the background. And the game plays the exact same sound effect of people screaming in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like, just listen.
Look at him go!
I'm not sure if it was a reference to the game or maybe that's just some stock sound effect that a lot of games use, I don't know. Speaking of sounds, have I mentioned how awesome the voices from the announcer and the coach guy are? They give you all kinds of words of encouragement throughout the entire race.
What a good move! Boy, can he drive that car!
But my personal favorite is when the coach guy says, "Go for the draft, go for the draft." I'm out of control. Don't draft around this U-turn, what are you talking about? This one got repeated a lot, so it kind of became a meme during the stream. This league was one of the toughest yet with some intense finishes, and you can see it was close. Go for the draft, go for the draft. I need the draft. The draft. Oh, he caught up.
Second place.
Go back to the footage. Come on. Come on, dude. Anyway, we needed 240,000 XP to advance, and after we got it, on to the 4th and the final league. Come on, stay in 3rd. No!
It's one for the record books.
Alright, we got the next league. The 4th league is another one called the Formula League. Kind of weird that it's identical, but they're at least a faster version of the Formula car in the last league. 5 races this time around, and honestly, other than the cars being faster and the tracks being a bit harder, this league wasn't much different than the previous one. It was kind of a disappointing ending. And after achieving rank 1 in the 4th league, we had achieved a gold trophy in all leagues and finished the gold cup.
Wow.
Got my draft mode up next.
Great race.
Yo, nice. Remember how I told you that this game had 4 racing leagues and that was the final one? Well, what if I told you that Indy Racing 2000 holds a very dark secret? There's actually a secret bonus league that unlocks after you finish all 4, and it's called the Indy Car League. Finally, we get to race in the actual cars the game's named after. The final league has 6 races, and they're some of the toughest tracks the game has to offer. They're incredibly fast, and the handling on them is out of control. I was struggling so hard to control these, so I eventually had to ask chat for just general advice for driving games, and I learned that I want to let off the gas rather than brake at turns and then accelerate when coming out of the turn. So I started experimenting with that and I started to do a bit better. And there's a lot of racing games on the N64, so I think that'll come in handy for future titles. However, after I unlocked the second tier of the Indy car, it was so much easier. The car was a little bit slower, but it handled so well, and I was able to get first place after a couple attempts with the better car. Alright, we'll see.
First place.
Yes! It was good enough. Yes. And yeah, we've beaten the game after that. And to my surprise, there was actually a cutscene for winning the IndyCar League. The game had 0 cutscenes before this, and it just shows your driver celebrating. There's a few other people for shows it for 3 seconds. Pretty underwhelming. So there you have it. That's my journey to beating Indy Racing 2000. Going into this game, I thought it was going to be absolutely miserable just because it's racing and nobody had ever heard of it, but honestly this game kinda surprised me. It's just a basic driving game with a lot of repetitiveness, but the driving itself is kind of fun. I really enjoyed the draft meter, how it helps you pass people even if your car is not quite as good as theirs, and if you exploited it well, it was like, you know, a high skill cap for being able to use it the right way. I really liked it. And the game's not too hard to beat at all, so I'll give it like a 3.5 for difficulty, and maybe like a 5 out of 10 for how enjoyable it was. It was kind of fun, but at the end of the day, it was very repetitive. But yeah. Anybody who watched this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, consider giving it a like, and if you enjoyed lots of these videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more. But yeah, thanks everybody, I really appreciate it, and see you next time.